Okay, I'm in the Catacombs Cave. I'm up past the stairs near the boxing glove chamber, I think they call it. That's the horizontal line here. Hope there's not a flood level, flood marker. That'd be impressive. But yeah, anyway. All right, so here's the fence around the hole to the lower level. Of course, there are easier ways to lower levels. You don't have to go this way. So there's the way to lower level. Oh, here's something I want to show you. It's not very common in this cave. Look at that, plant roots hanging down. So we're close enough to the surface that plant roots are coming down through the crack, all the way down here. Wow, cool. Look at the ceiling here. It's a little patch of that gold stuff, like in Golden Dome Cave. Now that I think about it, Golden Dome, wait, isn't Golden Dome? Let me think about it. Is it Blue Grotto, then Hopkins Chocolate, then Golden Dome? Something like that? I don't really have Cave Loop memorized, but anyway, we're near there somewhere. This is Catacombs, obviously. See, without the ladder, you get to hop down here. I could do it, but I don't care. I'm not going to bother to prove it. So, to the right, that's the way I came. That's a way out. Definitely the best way out. But to the left is not a dead end. To the left is the way to Cleopatra's grave and all that stuff. I don't know how close I'm going to get. Notice the cave splits here. Cave splits here. I'm going to keep going left. Oh, wow. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. So now I'm at the four-way. Wow. Okay, let me climb down here very carefully, and I'll show you where I am. Not that I know where I am, but, you know, I kind of know where I am. Good enough to not get myself lost. All right, here we go. Whoops. All right, here we go. So, that's the way I came. That's the way out. Here's a way down here. That's the way to like Cleopatra's grave and all that. There's another tube back here. That's not a dead end either. And then there's a way up here, which I think splits two ways again, so it's kind of a five-way. Yeah. So check it out. There's an upper level up there. Wow. So this is where I just was. I came from across over there. And there's also a level up here. So just this room is at least 3 levels. Wow. I have no idea where that big group, there was a big group in here. Okay, now look at this. Here's another crawl. Again, this is not the end of the cave. This way does go to the end of the cave. You don't mind a lot of belly crawling. Notice there's a rock pile here, so you could try to get up there. I think I'd rather not. Actually, I don't think I'd be able to if I tried. I hear other people, so I'm going to turn the ISO. Oops, hang on a second. Put the ISO on a higher number so I can lower my light. All right, I'm at 10% right now. Oh, they're way over there. I guess they're not going to come this way. Marco! All right. Yeah, you see this is another way down to lower level. Notice all the green colored bacteria over here. Nice. That's funny. They're not even wearing jackets. Oh well, good for them. At least they're staying together as a group. All right. All right, let me turn my light back up here. All right, there's 40%. All right, now I'm back ISO 6400, which is about as good as I shoot normally. There's another side passage, but I'm gonna keep you left. I think I'm about as far as I'm gonna go though. Really don't want to get myself hurt. Oh wow. This cave is so freaking awesome. How do you like this? Another cliff. So time for your quiz. Is this where it just was? Was I just down there? Yeah, the floor is pretty rough here, so that's why I'm wearing boots instead of just shoes. My shoes are pretty good for concrete and pavement, not so much caves. That little bulge right there. Okay, this is as far as I'm going. This is not the end. This is nowhere near the end. In fact, technically, it's not a dead end. It loops around, comes back the other way. But yeah, if you want to go to the end of the cave for real and Cleopatra's grave and all that good stuff, this is where you get to start crawling on your belly. So, without knee pads, I'm not even going to pretend to care. Again, this is a dead end. Cave almost bulged out, made another crossover passage. Over there, I don't think there's anything to cross over to. Not sure if there's any cave over there or not. I'll get to the floor between the rocks, how there's a lot of that golden bacteria. Oops. It was interesting. So look at this big smooth rock in the floor. It's what we call welded rock. It fell down when the lava was still flowing and it solidified in place. Okay, this is the tricky part. This cave is mostly a safe cave, but there are a couple of cliffs. Here's one of them. So if you're not careful, you can fall down there. The good news is there's another way around down there. So you don't have to try to climb up and down that cliff. Although you're welcome to try if you want. All right, this is the tricky part. I have to crouch down a little bit. All right, so remember I keep turning left, right? So that means I came from the right. Notice there's a red arrow here. I have no idea what that means. So let's see if I can explore this or not. Yeah, it looks too hard. Forget it. I'm not going to bother to pretend to care. So, let's refresh our memory. I went down to that lower level already. So agree I'm not in the lowest level. But there's also stairs up there here. So there's at least 4 levels to this cave. It's like I might be able to fit through here. Notice how steep the floor is. Oops. So check it out. I'm back in the main tube, but on the other side of this breakdown pile is the walkway. Okay, I don't want to get lost, so here's another 3-way. So just to make sure, I think this is the main tube. I think where I went before was a little bit back behind me. So I'm going to circle back the way I came. I think that's what I should do. It'd be funny if I was lost. All right, here we go. Now I would remember coming through here, because the way I have to lean to get through. Okay, so here we are, big breakdown pile. If I'm right, the trail's on the other side of this breakdown pile. Let's go find out, shall we? Oops. Okay, so here's the ladder, obviously. Okay, so here's that room with the breakdown. The trail I was just on was on the far wall over there. So this whole room is basically where the lava cave was really wide. Ceiling broke down, made a big mess. Man, look at the ceiling here. Huh. My camera battery is almost dead. I'm gonna keep shooting until it dies and then switch batteries. I only have 10 batteries, each one only lasts about an hour. Definitely need to buy some more batteries. So now I'm at the main tube. I came through there already. That's the way out. That's the way over to the little ladder that goes up. So now I'll go over here. Here's a 3-way. So over here, this is where I just was. This is that breakdown pile in the same room I was just in. This is what I was saying, if you're not careful, you go around in circles in this cave, because there's so many places here you could go around in circles if you're not careful. So here's another crossover passage over to that other tube. If you don't mind doing a belly crawl, risk getting yourself lost. Interesting how the floor bulges up here for no apparent reason. The good thing about this cave and Valentine's Day is the caves, they usually don't have any bats, so you can play around all you want, use as much light as you want, spend all the time you want. You don't have to worry about disturbing the bats. All right, this is as far as I'm going. It keeps getting smaller and smaller. By the time we get to the lower end, it's all belly crawl. So it's time for me. There's a red arrow pointing the way out. So it's time to start heading back out. Oops. Now I'm back to the main tube, so pretty much heading out now. There's a couple of side passages ahead here on the left. They're too small for me to do without knee pads. My camera battery is blinking red. See if I can finish this video on the same battery or not. I think it starts blinking red like 20 minutes before it actually dies. So you have plenty of warning. Ceiling is very pretty in some places here. If you take the time to look, you might be impressed. I'm not officially in a hurry. This is my last cave for the day. So I think I'll finish this video, drink some water, shoot a vertical video, and then figure out what I'm gonna do with all my free time. Watch the stock market go up and down. All right, so there's the lava fall. I already went up there before. Super easy. There's a crossover passage if you don't mind crawling through there. Here's the same tube. I'm not actually sure if it's a crossover passage or it just loops around to where I just showed you. Either way, if you don't mind crawling, it's really cool. As you can see, a lot of this cave, the tube is really smooth. Perfect for walking, crawling. Oh yeah, and caving. Definitely some caving. There's the way over to the top of the lava fall. Been there, done that. This is the way out. Like they say in Dumb and Dumber, I hate goodbyes. Oh well. So there's the main tube. Notice there's a branch to the right. Over here, there's a small passage. But without knee pads, I'm not gonna do it. If I crawled through there, I would have ended up here anyway. So as you can see, it's not much of a shortcut. All right, there's the stairs. The way out. It's the only exit to this cave, even though it's one of the longest caves around here. The post office cave doesn't count because most of it's gated. Don't get me started. Actually, post office is probably way too hard for me anyway. I can dream, can't I? All right, since I spent over an hour in there, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to my car and take a water break. Got a water bottle with some cool water. All right, so Lava Beds National Monument. There's the catacombs.